But what I did, this is why my box works good. It actually works initially to prop it up, and then it also works to put it up in the air. And then you can actually move the legs to certain positions. So I have a mode where I can move all the legs to, all the legs get moved identically. Right. And then I can also kind of tune in to kind of see what positions I want for stuff, like move legs down and up.
Oh.
Oops. Right, and then I can move that. So all the legs, so I can just go to the different positions, which is just normal software, other than I just and then what I'm working on, it's not quite right, so I can't put it down on the ground for this, but I can for this one because I did it at the house. Is that you can put it like that. Little position one. So I can go to those positions, and you can do other things too, like you can do the twist at this higher positions. That's why we were discussing that. Do we need the torso to twist this way? And you can actually twist pretty far, and not really, you know what I mean? Like 45 degrees, 90 degrees. You know what I mean? Pretty easily that way. So that's going back to 3. But then I'll prop it up for the bad walking that it does, and it's just so the mini quad, the legs are mirror images of each other. Mm-hmm. So like this sprocket would be on the inside of the other leg or something like that. And so I haven't just gone through and fixed it, but this is a walking what should be a crab walk. And leg 1 and 4 are kind of doing the right thing, but 2 and 3 are going the opposite direction. If I get some time tonight, I should have it fixed. So it looks like it's more trying to turn at the moment or something. But it was just a tweak I didn't get done yet.
And that's just because of the mirror image?
Yeah. So all the code for the mini quads moved over, and then it just goes back and parsed where it's at. And actually, what burned a lot of time yesterday was I was getting errors when I was talking to the servos. Every once in a while, like when it was operating, sometimes you'd see some red text pop up on my screen, and I said, I got to take a look at that. Well, I changed my code around, and I was getting communication errors all the time. And so it took me a little bit to reverse out what was going on with the communication errors. And it's just true that every once in a while you try and send a packet like reading a position or reading a load from the servos, that it just gets corrupted, doesn't come back properly from the Dynamixel. And so you have to have, so I coded on top of their API, I coded another level which gives it 10 retries. So if I ask for the load of something, it tries 10 times, and then it throws an error. And then now it hasn't thrown an error since I did that.
Okay.
So it was one of those things where just the timing was such, asking exactly once didn't do as well as asking in between. So
what could be attributed to those lost packets? Yeah. I mean, with wired communication, shouldn't we really not be getting lost packets?
I'll tell you, Mandelbrot, who's famous for the Mandelbrot set, right? He worked at IBM, and they used to try and build perfect networks, and they used to get mad at like young engineers who'd come into a room because they would have this room that was like super cooled and these wires that were perfect and all this other stuff, and then they'd transmit data on these perfect wires, and they'd still drop data out, right? So then they blame people closing doors or something like that. And eventually he just said, no, you really should design the system so that you're almost sure that they're going to happen, and then you drive on, you work properly anyway, and that's why we have repeating codes and retries and all this stuff built into our network communication now. So I kind of feel like, there's something going on. Maybe it's a loose wire, but basically the retry will give us so that if it's just happens to be a packet, doesn't come back right, we'll be okay. If it happens to be something more severe, the 10 times won't matter, right? Like if I disconnect this cable, right, it'll fail every time because it'll never be able to talk to that thing. Mm-hmm. So
how quick are those retries? How much time does it take?
As fast as they can go. I mean, maybe I might have added a sleep of like 20 microseconds